She loved her children. She just had, like I said, she grew up with Annette in a household, and she went through the same thing at 13 as Nazaya. So, she had a lot on her, and no one ever got her help. Her mother loved her. She loved her children. She just had, like I said, she grew up with Annette in a household, and she went through the same thing at 13 as Nazaya. She had a lot on her, and no one ever got her help. She loved her children. She just couldn't fight those demons that were chasing her. When all this stuff was going on with Nazaya, we finally caught up with her because people were lying, and specifically Annette and people in the family were saying that she just left. She never left. She said, I'm staying here until y'all find out what happened to my baby, because Annette was trying to say she had something to do with it. Other people were trying to say, well, actually, she was the first person to give the police the information they needed to try to figure out what happened. There were several indications at school, but the school would call Annette instead of going through the proper channels. You tell me this, if a child is on the playground and a car pulls up to a vicinity where the child can talk to them through a fence, and the child is talking to them, and the teacher goes over and say, hey, who are you talking to? And the guy says, I'm her dad. And the child agrees, yes, that's my dad. Do you call the grandmother, or do you make a report as well as call her grandmother? So,
who did they think this person was? You got the pred in your house. You got to know who the pred is.
What did they do after that? Like, for the safety of not only Nazaya, I feel like some type of report or police report should have been made for the safety of any other child he may have came back and tried to talk to.
The other person that's in the family, Kewana, she's the cousin. She knew the father.
Messages on the school laptop. Go ahead, Kewana. You said about her dad.
Well, he is deceased. I want to respect that, but I can't say that. This started out a working relationship with him and my cousin. We met him together, actually. He spoke to me, and we were having a conversation. And I went on to my vehicle, and him and my cousin continued to converse, and they exchanged numbers. They were talking about, business. My lady works on houses. Kewana, her nickname is Lady. She works on houses, and she's really good at it. And so he needed some help as far as, his business, and that's how they met. And so they met a business relationship. She was with him regularly, like every day. I wasn't with them on a daily basis, but I do know when she became pregnant with Nazaya. At first, her, being a mother and, dealing with a man in which, he has a family and so on, she was torn between, was she going to, keep her child or not keep her child? And so she made a decision to keep her.
So we all know Nazaya's father was a married man at the time, and they decided to give her up. So
her child, with the expectation that they would parent her together. And some things happened along the lines. He had a family at home, and things got really ugly with them as far as that was concerned. And so Nazaya, from my understanding and from what my cousin was telling me, Nazaya wasn't seeing him regularly. However, from my understanding and what he told me is that he was trying to see her, and my aunt was making it hard for him to see her, because at the time she was trying to get custody of the children. And so not even so much making it hard, but, telling him that it's best for her to be her guardian because she can do the things for her that he can.
Because I can get some benefits for being the guardian and cuss him out before school and all that. Yeah, I need the kid. I'm the best thing for the kid. But so the dad wasn't the best thing for the kid, but Jarvis was.
Can't do. Again, he had a situation, and at that time, his wife wasn't aware that Nazaya was born, and that went on like that. She convinced him to let her. They came to an agreement that she would parent Nazaya, so to say, and they ended up moving. He lost contact, and so many things happened in between when they lost contact. He was consistently paying child support, from my understanding. He told me that personally, that he was consistent with paying his child support. Whether that child support was being spent on Nazaya or not, there were many times where she needed things.
Now, in one of my other live streams, the guy, her father admitted that he had lost contact to the point of 4 to 5 years was the last time that he actually seen her. And I said, if you could say 4 to 5 years, it probably was more like 8 to 10. Okay. They lost contact. He had surgery. He had congestive heart failure. He went into surgery. He said his surgery was years ago. He went into surgery. He didn't have a phone. He lost contact with her. The wife found out about it because when he put himself on child support, that paperwork came to his house. Now, if he was working on houses, okay, he probably was an independent type of person. How much child support was he paying after he lost contact? I don't believe he was paying child support all the way to the end, unless his wife was paying the child support. If that was his
Which
wife.
was one of the reasons why I would take her clothes. You know, some new, some, you know, I have 2 daughters, and my daughters, you know, they like, you know, nice things like any young person. And so Ziya is smaller than them, and we will pass it out. And not just me, they have 2 other cousins. I won't say their name. And, you know, the mother of one of my aunt's children, she, same thing, her daughters. So, you know, we were looking out for Ziya as far as clothing and such. You know, so yeah, that's that story. And then once this came about, with Ziya missing, he found out about it, and you know, he was out there, you know, like we were, as far as the organized searches is concerned, you know, and passing out flyers. I met up with him a few times, and we were passing out flyers and so on. So there's that. You know, they both made a mistake, but Ziya was none other than a blessing, and it's unfortunate that all this had to happen like this. It's really sad.
This is Kewana that's talking right now.
Her father, and the situation, her mother, and she's
no know that she was pregnant. We did not know that she was pregnant until all of this happened, and then we saw the videos, and we started kind of like looking, assuming like, wait a minute, it look like she's pregnant. And I personally feel strongly that they knew that she was pregnant.
Because mind you, we were no longer allowed to see them. So
now that's coming from family, y'all. That is coming from the family. They strongly believe they knew.
Phone calls now. It was, you know, I'm sneaking to call you to say hi because they weren't allowed to talk to us. You know, so that's how I was in communication, and that's how she was in communication. It was phone calls. We couldn't see them, so we weren't seeing them visually. You know, aside from the oldest child, I won't say his name, but yeah,
you know, I would text every now and then. She can get a hold of.
Here's a video I came across of Roxy and Lady. So this is Roxy, and Lady is gonna pop in on this. Let's listen in on this.
CPS and the Detroit Public School, and you know, people who seen things and didn't say anything, and you know, just kind of being bothersome with that. So, is there anything that you would like to say in particular, or because I don't know when you came in, or what you saw, what you didn't see, what you heard, what you didn't hear.
Roxy, can you repeat the hotel situation? Because it was
loud. Situation as what I saw when I went over there.
Yes.
So when I had went over there, I had talked to several different people who knew him. Knew him by J-Bo. They didn't know him by Jarvis or by Jay. They knew him by J-Bo. And that was people at the gas station, people at the liquor store, and people who live in this particular hotel that's over there on Harper and Connors. And when I was talking to people, you know, they had said that they have been seeing him there with, you know, crackheads and stuff like that.
This is one of them. He looked like crap in. I mean, but I seen one even worse than this. He really looked like a clucker to me.
It was just the whole hotel is off, and he has been over there several times because it was people who like knew him. So you know, with me just kind of checking it out, you know, myself and talking to certain people, it was just really off. What happened? But that is not his first time that he has been over there.
You talking about the travel in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That's definitely not his first time over there. People definitely recognized him, especially the gas station and the corner store. They even described how he looked without the hat on. I showed them a picture where he was kind of like covered up. And they described him with long hair and his teeth was messed up and, you know, stuff like that. So I found that to be...
He supposed to worked at the gas station. They had the auto mechanic shop connected to it. Because I had been there a few times. And he's supposed to have been working there.
Yeah, apparently he worked a whole lot of auto shops.
Yeah, then he worked one down on Neff.
My understanding, all of the shops that he worked in was owned by a guy named Frank. And the one that him and King had together, they was leasing that building.
Off of Warren and Casual, he worked at that one. But, you know, you said, so the people are familiar with who he was.
Yes, they are familiar with who he was, yes. What's also not making sense to me is the hotel got at least, I counted 15 cameras.
Now, how they don't see that?
It's not making sense to me how she was seen going in and not seen coming out.
Right.
So that's not making sense to me.
I have to understand that. I'm not making no damn sense.
Right. So I don't know. I'm kind of I don't want to.
Lady is gonna chime in on this.
But if you wanted to have the floor to say anything, then I wanted to let you, have that.
My daughter. I mean, it can't be measured how much I love my daughter, and I'm still holding on the fact and the possibility and the fact that she is still living,
right? Regardless
of the news and everything say. I don't do the publicity. I don't do, people's platform or however they want to benefit off the situation. My concern is about my daughter, and just because people doesn't see my face or see me all everywhere like some of my, family members be, that doesn't mean that I'm not involved and I'm not trying to keep up with what's going on with my daughter.
Right.
And that's much I got to say about it to anyone. I don't have to show my face all on the news or, be all on everybody's podcast and all that. I don't have to do all that for somebody to feel that I'm involved with what's going on with my daughter.
That's her mother. That's what she said. Now she's talking to Roxy and I can't see the other person.
See, they don't know. Lady can build a motherfucking house while they all on Facebook
from the ground up. You hear me?
Yes, I have multiple skills.
Period.
Very intelligent and got them hands. Stop playing with lady. Period. And this shit killing her. It's killing her.
Absolutely, it's killing me. Nobody knows how I feel about this because it's not them. It's not them. No one knows how I struggle every day just to get through day by day. Be a mother because I do have a son. So it's hard for me, and I try not to get wrapped up in the bull crap. I just try to keep it about the facts and the investigation and what's going on with my daughter. All the other shit is irrelevant to me.